If the Cowboys lose tomorrow to fall to 6-6, does Jerry fire Jason Garrett? The answer is no. The answer is no, because installing an interim coach never helps push you into the playoffs in the NFL. Never. The only time you fire a head coach is if it's egregiously awful and toxic and bad and you want to get a head start on your next head coach for next year. Or evaluate somebody on the staff to perhaps be your next head coach. But I don't think that's where the Cowboys are right now because the division is so down. 6-6 is not the time to be scrambling to put in place a new head coach and make the playoffs. That's not the time. Jerry's going to give Jason Garrett the rest of the season, and I think he should. And you know Garrett's going to get the rest of the season because he's a family friend, because he's been a good soldier, and Jerry's loved him because he's a good dinner guest. He doesn't push back. He doesn't want personnel control. He never criticizes the organization. He never creates any friction. But does Jason Garrett survive into next year? Absolutely not. There's no way. See, here's the good thing about the Cowboys. Their schedule is very forgiving down the stretch. They play the Bills tomorrow. Their final 4 games after that, Bears, Rams, Eagles, Washington. If you can't beat the Bears, the Eagles, and Washington out of your final month of the season, and that includes a home date against the Rams, which you might say is a toss-up, even though the Rams are terrible right now, you should be able to get to 9-7. No problem. You should barely break a sweat to get to 9-7. That puts you in the playoffs more than likely. At the very least, it's going to be about a tiebreaker against the Eagles. So I would not fire Jason Garrett here because you should be able to get to the postseason relatively easily by just winning a couple of easy games down the stretch. But does Jason Garrett coach this team in 2020? Absolutely not. No way. No. Unless he makes a Super Bowl run. That's the only chance, is if they back into the playoffs as the NFC East winner and he goes on a run and the Cowboys put it all together and they rip through all the way to the Super Bowl, upsetting the Packers and the Niners and the Saints in doing so. But is that going to happen? No chance. None whatsoever. And Jason Garrett's going to be gone, and he should have been gone before this because they've got a really good team and a really good roster, and there's no reason they should be 6-5 going into tomorrow's game.